Mimlos whale. The battle lasted a long time. For a long time, the battle was undecided. Thunderbird in the air could not whip Mimlos whale in the water. Thunderbird would seize Mimlos whale in his talons and try to carry Mimlos whale to his nest in the mountains. Mimlos whale would get away. Again, Thunderbird would seize him. Again, Mimlos whale would escape. The battle between them was terrible. The noise that Thunderbird made when he flapped his wings shook the mountains. They stripped the timber there. They tore the trees out by their roots. Then Mimlos whale got away. Again, Thunderbird caught Mimlos whale. Again, they fought a terrible battle in another place. All the trees there were torn out by their roots. Again, Mimlos whale escaped. Many times they fought thus. Each time Thunderbird caught Mimlos whale, there was a terrible battle, and all the trees in that place were uprooted. At last, Mimlos whale escaped to the deep ocean, and Thunderbird gave up the fight. That is why the killer whale still lives in the ocean today. In those places where Thunderbird and Mimlos whale fought, to this day, no trees grow. Those places are the prairies on the Olympic Peninsula. Legend of the Ho and Quileute people of the Pacific Northwest. Told by Luke Hobucket, circa 1933. By the time Mark and Coleman got back to the bridge, the Argo had begun to move again, flying up and away from the fight. It was clear Godzilla was in his element now, worrying Monster Zero like a crocodile, rolling him, trying to keep all three heads under at once. 20 seconds to impact, Stanton said. Impact? Mark wondered. What did we miss? Coleman asked. Suddenly a dragon head hurtled toward the windshield, its maw gaping at them, and Mark realized they weren't out of range yet. But then Godzilla yanked Monster Zero back down, and the Argo began to haul some serious ass. Oh! Coleman gasped. The military just launched a weapon that's about to kill them both, Stanton said. Mark glanced at Serizawa, whose brow was deeply furrowed. Someone way above his pay grade must have made the call. Serizawa would never willingly allow his favorite monster to get blasted. And despite himself, Mark felt the stirrings of sympathy for Serizawa's point of view. Godzilla had saved their lives a couple of times now, whether he meant to or not. But if the big lizard had to die for them to get Monster Zero too, it's not the worst idea, Mark said. On the other hand, Godzilla was winning. Monster Zero was taking way more than he was dishing out, his golden light flickering, while Godzilla had never looked stronger. The two monsters dwindled as the Argo tore away, but there were plenty of cameras on the action as Godzilla grabbed one of Monster Zero's heads and bit it off. A spray of black blood jetted from the stump. It almost looked like petroleum. That had to hurt, even if you had a couple of spares. Mark found he was looking forward to what Godzilla would do next. A flicker of silver entered his peripheral vision. A plane? He blinked involuntarily as both monsters were engulfed in light. The flash was brief, a brilliant green, and it quickly mushroomed into the atmosphere, casting a chartreuse pall over the sea. As the flash faded and the cloud lifted higher, he saw the Titans were no longer locked in battle. They were thrashing about in the water, grasping for something out of reach, fighting something they couldn't claw or bite. They were sinking. Still flailing, both Titans vanished beneath the waves. Mark had been praying for this moment for 5 years. For Godzilla's death, justice for his son, and all the others who had died in the monster's trans-global rampage. But somehow, now that the moment was here, he wasn't as elated as he thought he would be. He realized he didn't just have sympathy for Serizawa's views. He was beginning to believe him. And if Serizawa was right, what they'd just done could be a big mistake. Rodan was still out there, and Mothra, and plenty more where they came from. The sea, still not entirely settled from the fight, began to stir and foam. Bubbles broke the surface as if some undersea gas cavity had opened up.